Somewhere I Belong, Chapter 4, Part 2. What? I think I just got my family jewels back, he said as he looked into the water. Yeah, I did. Your what? It's, he tried to find the right words. Relax, I know what you mean, she said with a laugh. The two looked over to see the two spa ponies coming into the room with smiles on their faces. Who are you? The blue mare yelled as she looked at Isaac. He was the girl that came in with me, Rainbow interjected. You mean to tell me that the hair loss wasn't the poison joke? The poison joke made me gender swap, Isaac explained. So what are you? Oh, right, you don't know. I'm a human. The ponies looked at one another in confusion. Looks like we owe Lyra an apology, the pink one whispered to her sister. I've been hearing that a lot lately, Isaac said with a sigh. Can I have my clothes back? Yes, I'll go get them, Lotus said as she hurried away. Your clothes are ready, Miss Dash, Aloe said as she walked out the door. Awesome, she said as she hopped out of the tub. Isaac looked away as she rose from the tub and wrapped herself in a towel. I'll meet you out front. Isaac gave her a thumbs up as he still looked away from the mare. He heard the door close and then he let out a sigh as he got out of the tub and put the towel around his waist. The pink sister came out of the back room and led him to the stallion's changing area. Isaac found his clothes neatly stacked on the bench. As he picked up his shirt, 2 notes fell to the floor. He picked one up and saw that the penmanship was very refined. Isaac, don't worry about the cost. My treat. Rarity. He gave a smile and folded the note into his pocket. The other note was considerably messy, and the penmanship looked like that of a 10-year-old. Isaac, here's my number. Call me later. Rainbow. Isaac entered the number into his phone and grinned. As he put his shirt back on, he noticed that a blue blur ducked behind the door. Isaac rolled his eyes and made his way out into the lobby where the cyan mare was waiting for him. About time you got out here, she said in an impatient tone. Calm down. I'm here now, aren't I? He said with a smug grin on his face. Whatever, she said as she got to her feet. Her hair was still fairly wet and clung to her light blue coat with a strong grip. Isaac couldn't help but notice that her tail began to swish as she took a step with her well-defined hips. He felt himself blush and quickly averted his eyes away from the cyan mare. Please come again, the blue sister said with a smile. Just be sure to use the correct changing room next time, the pink one added. Sorry about that. What are your names? I'm Lotus, the blue one said with a smile. I'm Aloe. It's nice to meet you two. My name's Isaac, by the way, he said as he shook their hands. The 2 mares smiled at him. Isaac quickly made his way out the door and rejoined Rainbow, who was leaning against the building, tapping her foot. Isaac reached down into his pocket and let out a groan. I'll be right back. I forgot my phone inside. Rainbow rolled her eyes at the statement. Isaac walked back inside to the counter to see Lotus holding up his device. Sorry, Lotus. It's quite all right. As he took the phone, she drew his head next to her mouth and began to whisper. There's a new number in there if you're interested. Isaac felt himself blush again as the mare backed away from him. She began to giggle as she turned around and walked back into the room. Isaac silently turned around and walked back out to the busy street. There, you okay? Looks like you just saw a ghost. Yeah, I'm fine, he said as he shook off the shock. So what do we do now? I got the day off. What about you? I gotta grab some bits from Twi's place. Then I gotta head to Rarity's shop for some new clothes, and Vinyl wanted to listen to some of my music. Rainbow let out a groan at the statement. You're free to come along if you want. I'm not much of a fashion guy, so it'll be nice to have a second opinion. The cyan mare smiled, and the 2 began to walk back to the library. Want a race? She asked. I'm at a huge disadvantage for that, he said as he pointed to her wings. I won't fly, I promise. In that case, you're on, he said with a grin. The 2 drew a line in the dirt and began to stretch. Ready, set, go, Isaac yelled as he sprinted forward. He looked back to see that the cyan mare was gaining ground and had a hungry look in her eye. Isaac quickened his pace as he felt the speed demon come up behind him. Look out, she yelled. Isaac looked ahead to see a parked cart in the middle of the road. He couldn't slow down in time or swerve out of the way. Isaac increased his speed and leapt over the cart. As he performed a quick somersault, as he landed, Rainbow stared at him in amazement. Isaac gave her a sly grin and resumed running towards the library. As he saw the library, Isaac knew that the door would slow him down. His eyes searched for another entry point. He veered off to the right a few feet and aligned himself with the open window. Rainbow had caught up to him and had no intention of losing. As Rainbow reached the door, she saw the human vault into the library, causing Twilight to jump in surprise. Rainbow burst through the door, panting heavily. I believe the score stands at 1-0, he said as he caught his breath. That doesn't count. You cheated. How? You used the window. So, you never said I couldn't, he said with a smile. Twilight looked at the two with a raised eyebrow. What is going on? We were racing, he said with a smirk. Why did you jump through my window? Would you prefer if I broke your door down? No, but still. Fine, I won't jump through the window anymore. Thank you. I just need to grab my bit bag and then we'll leave, Isaac said as he and Rainbow hurried up the stairs. He opened the room to see that his bit bag and knife were on the nightstand. Isaac attached the knife to his jeans and put the pouch in his pocket. Okay, we can go now. Why bring that thing? She said as she pointed to the knife. You never know when you might need it, he said as he walked back into the main room of the library. So where are you two going? Twilight asked. Carousel Boutique. Rarity wanted to make me another set of clothes. Oh, good. Spike is over there, by the way. Why? He helps Rarity from time to time. Mostly because he has a crush on her, Rainbow added. Ah, I see, he said as he nodded his head. Well, I'll see you later, Twilight, he said with a wave. He and the Cyan Mare made their way onto the streets of the small town. Isaac was still catching glances from some unknown mares and stallions. He looked to his side to see Rainbow quickly turning her head away from him. So, how long has Spike had the hots for Rarity? Since he met her. Is Rarity stringing him along? No, well, maybe. I'm not the best when it comes to that kind of stuff. I think she knows he likes her, but doesn't know how to tell him without breaking his heart. Ah, that old problem. Has Spike tried to win her over? No, he's usually too nervous to even form complete sentences. Interesting, he said as they arrived in front of the shop. The two made their way inside and looked around the posh shop. Rarity, you in here? Rainbow yelled. Come upstairs, darling. The two looked at each other and complied with the order. Rainbow opened the door to see the white mare at her sewing machine and Spike sweeping up some fabric scraps. Hello, you two, she said with a smile. Hi, Isaac said with a wave. Thanks for covering our spa visit, Rarity. Oh, think nothing of it, darling. Glad to see you're back to normal. Thank you, he said with a warm smile. So how can I help you? I was thinking on getting some new clothes. Ah, say no more. I will begin taking the measurements. If you're too busy, then I can come back later and... It's perfectly all right. It's a slow day anyway. Spike, would you be a dear and fetch me some white fabric from the top shelf? She said in a sweet tone. Spike gave a quick nod and appeared 10 seconds later with the fabric. Thank you, dear. The dragon had a massive grin on his face. So what kind of clothes were you looking for? Just something casual I can use around town. Anything specific? Something lightweight and comfortable. What about a suit? No thanks. I don't wear suits on a regular basis. I trust you'll want to wear something nice for your return trip. No, I'm guessing no one even knows that I'm gone, he said as he took off his jacket. What about your family? Parents are dead and I'm an only child. Reddy looked at him in regret. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, dear. I didn't know. It's fine. What about your friends? Don't have many. Rainbow put a hand on his shoulder and gave him a weak smile. Except for you guys, of course, he said with a smile. Thank you, dear. What do you think about a shirt in white? Sounds good. Why not make the trim in black? Darling, that idea is completely... Her eyes shrank at the thought. Genius. I didn't know you had fashion insight. I don't. I just know that black and white go well together, as it does with red, blue, and dark green. The ponies looked at him in surprise. I took a few art classes in high school, he said with a shrug. It's just a surprise, Rarity commented. I had no idea that humans were fashionably inclined. Oh yeah. People make their whole careers around making clothes and designing different types of fashion for all different kinds of people. Rarity's eyes boggled at the information. What kind of fashion? She asked as her eyes grew wide. Not really sure. I never paid attention to it that much, he said as he scratched his chin. Why not? She said in an annoyed tone. I never needed to. Not my area of expertise, he said as Rarity wrapped the measuring tape around his right arm. He then noticed that Spike was sweeping up some fabric scraps in the corner with a blank look on his face. Hey, Rarity, on my way over here, Rainbow was thinking on upgrading her wardrobe. Rainbow shot him a confused glance. Really? Odd, she usually never wants to do something like that. I don't. Isaac quickly covered the mare's mouth. She just didn't want to look like a posh pony. You know how she is, he said as he let go of the angry mare. Oh, come along, darling. I will help you once I'm done with. Spike can help me out, he interjected. The dragon looked at him in confusion. Besides, we haven't really had a chance to talk, he said with a smile. But I need to help Rarity with... Oh, don't worry, Spike. I'm sure I can manage, she said as she took Rainbow into the next room. The cyan mare shot the human a dirty look. Spike looked up at the human with a raised eyebrow. As the two mares left, Isaac looked at Spike with a grin. Good, now we can talk. About what? I know you like Rarity, Spike. The dragon's face turned bright red at the statement. How did... Rainbow told me, and you were making it obvious, he said with a shrug. Spike face-palmed in defeat. So tell me, how long have you had feelings for her? What do you care? I'm going to help you out. Why? I was in your position one time, and no one helped me out. Long story short, it sucked, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let it happen to you. How do I know you won't try to steal her from me? Two things, Spike. One, Rarity is not my type. And two, I am many things, but I am not a cockblocker. A what?